For Raynor was, how does it feel to go back and forth between deity and
It's seamless. I don't feel it. I don't feel it. It's seamless. What I recommend for people to be able to tell the difference is to repeat the charge of the god every day. Goddess.
Yeah.
Repeat the charge of the goddess. So, in school, wiccanseminary.edu, you should go to school.
www.wiccanseminary.edu.
That's my college. So, I built it.
She built it.
I built it.
I go there.
It's awesome.
Isleen goes there.
It's great.
We go there.
I teach there.
He teaches there.
It's a good school.
We do it.
So I have this thing where so there's the things that you have to do to have a class. You know, you have to do. Well, then focus.
It will
okay,
focus
there we
in,
go.
yeah.
And then there's things that you get to do, and the
Yeah.
things that you get to do are the real magic.
She's poking my boobie.
Poking her boob.
Oh.
So
She likes boobs. I'm
Boobs
sorry.
you've given me a lot of wine.
Clink and
Aphrodite
drink.
must be coming out.
Clink and drink.
The things
Clink and
that
I'll
drink.
pretend.
the
Clink
things
and
that
drink.
you get to do are where the real magic are. So if you don't take advantage of the opportunities, you don't take advantage of the opportunities.
Yeah.
So the real magic is sitting there and reciting the charge every day. Because when you sit and you recite the charge and there's no external stimuli, you know, there's not all these people looking at you, you're not in the middle of ritual, it's not hot or cold, rain coming down on you, something like that, right? You're just at your computer.
You're talking about devotionals.
Devotional.
Love my
so
devotional.
you sit and you do the charge of the goddess, then you can feel your face change. You can feel the different energies
You're more in
coming
the
into you
moment
because you're
Yeah.
still and you're quiet and you're just sitting there with no other external stimuli.
Yeah.
That's when you really feel the difference.
And that
So
trains people. That
is
trains-
how I train my students to invoke. Repeating and learning the charge of the goddess, reciting the charge of the goddess over and over and over it's an invoking incantation. She likes to hear it. She likes it when you say it. It makes her feel like she should come and bless you. And so she does.
Yeah.
Doesn't she?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so that is where your power really starts building, is reciting the charge of the goddess every day. My ritual when I started doing this, what I learned was, and I've done it a lot of different ways, and what I've learned is that it is most powerful when you acknowledge the quarters. You don't have to call the quarters. What I would do in my own personal ritual is I would light a little smudge stick and I would blow it at each one of the quarters. You know, because you got smudge sticks don't burn on their own. I would blow it, right?
Yeah.
And so I would blow it at each one of the quarters, acknowledge that they're there, and just ask them to be with me. I'd do each one, and then I would sit down and say the charge of the goddess, and then I would thank the quarters for being there with me, and then I would have my day. But what would happen when I was reciting the charge over and over and over like that is she would talk to me. She would say, look at this stanza today. Look at this stanza today. What does this mean today?
Mm-hmm.
And she would reveal these different mysteries within the charge. And so what was happening was I would feel my face change some days. I would feel my body change some days. It was always different. But it was powerful. And as I learned to recite the charge and say it from heart, say it from memory, then it became a part of me, and she became a part of me. And then that had never left me. So after I learned the charge of the goddess from memory, she became part of me always.
Yeah.
And then there was no separation between the two of us.
And there's a lot of stepping aside and trusting. And when you're trusting goddess, you're trusting yourself, because we are the divine. I mean, the goddess says these things to us, and we hear her voice, but it's still our voice too.
It
It's
sounds very much like your own voice.
It's our own voice, what we've been saying for a long time. So when you can attach that to the divine, you put more, I guess, trust in it. You trust someone that is divine.
It builds trust.
It builds trust. And once I let go of that, not accepting that I'm a vessel for the divine, I am the divine. Once I let go of that, and I mean, and I have to practice that every day, because I'm not like, I've let go and now it's so easy every time. No, it's not.
No,
it's
no,
not.
I think that's one of the first things I said was that I have to be like, did I do this?
Yeah. You have to be very like, it's like an exercise. It's like something you have to do if you want to work out, or you want to we work out our brains by doing brain teasers. We work out our bodies by doing exercise. Well, you have to work out your spiritual connectedness to divine by doing the charge of the goddess, or whatever you do, doing the work.
Period.
And and you just, it's like muscle memory.
It is like
It's
muscle
muscle
memory.
memory. I'm so
Yay,
smart.
You are so smart.
I'm
That's
smart.
That's why you're such an awesome student.
Well,
Drink.
clink and drink.
Splash it.
Clink
It is like-
and drink.
It's very much like muscle memory. That's
Yeah.
why you have to memorize your incantations. Because when you memorize your incantations, you ever watch Supernatural?
I've never watched it, but has anyone else?
Okay.
You
so, a lot of people have seen Supernatural. So for the first two seasons, these two brothers were fighting ghosts and what the fuck whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they had this book that had certain incantations in it that they had to read in order to save themselves from the bad whatever, right?
Yeah.
The supernatural things. And me and Dusty were like, memorize your fucking incantations, dude! What the hell is wrong with you? And they finally did memorize their incantations, and then things got much easier for them. Of course. Memorizing your incantations and being able to say them from heart is so important, because when you're reading something, it's not a part of you. You don't own it.
That's
You're
true.
not feeling it.
You're not feeling
You're
it.
not able to be in the moment. You're too worried about reading it to do the energy of it. But if you memorize it, so you're memorizing it, plus you have all this energy to do. So if you're saying the charge of the goddess, what you're doing is focusing on opening your head up, opening your crown chakra up, and allowing your body to be filled with this energy, right?
Yeah.
And if you've memorized the charge and you can just say it, then it's easy to let that happen, because like I just told your husband, it happens automatically.
Yeah.
If you say your incantations, because your incantations have been said by so many powerful witches who have already set that energy in motion, that the energy comes to you because you're saying the words right. And then once you're like, okay, so I know how this feels. I own this energy. I grok it. I've done it. My muscles own it. My spirit owns it. I get it. Then you can change it up to do different things because you own it.
Yeah. No, and that.
What are you going to say?
Well, you know,
Oh.
where I live, I mean, it's very magical.
Yeah.
Very. So I have goddesses and gods all the time, like bypassing.
Oh, you'll see it tomorrow. This is where you're doing your Demeter
I have
ritual.
been walking through, and all of a sudden, I'm not there anymore. I'm not invoking them, but
They just happen.
They jump into you.
And is that like self-invoking? Is that just, or what do you call
So
that?
what you've done is you've given them permission to do that. You've given them permission to do that with your body.
I didn't realize it did.
So
Subconsciously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you might have said at any time on your property, I want the spirits of this land to communicate with me.
I have.
Yes.
Okay, so then you've
they
given
do.
them permission.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You've given
So
them permission.
you're okay with that, right?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if they did anything that you weren't okay with, they would stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But since you're okay with it,
Yeah.
they're moving forward, because You know, I hate to quote the Bible, but I don't. You know, knock and the door shall be open unto you. I was raised Mormon. I was a champion scripture chaser. I baby powdered my scriptures so they would fall open to the right pages.
Did you really?
I know.
You are a zealot.
I'm a zealot.
You are such a zealot. You say that,
Look,
but you are.
I like to win.
And this is why she's the archpriestess.
I baby powdered my Bible so that the pages would open to the right page.
We're talking about, I'm talking about being Latin speaking Roman Catholic.
That's
you're talking about Mormonism.
But you have to. So let me tell you what. When you care enough to cheat, it means you really know your shit.
Yeah.
So I would.
Don't tell my kids that.
I know. Don't
get headphones
kids,
on.
don't listen.
Don't. This is not for children.
Cheating is a bad idea.
It's bad.
But it's what I did.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I'm not saying Mormons are good people.
Yeah. You're just saying you did what you had to do.
But I was a champion scripture chaser, and one of the scriptures that we learned was knock and the door shall be opened unto you. And so when you seek deity, they will answer you. When you seek them, they're like, oh my God, she's finally asked the right questions. Let me go and answer her.
And sometimes
And
we're
that's
not prepared.
what they do.
Sometimes we're not prepared.
Sometimes we're not prepared, but you know they never give you more than you can handle.
Absolutely.
They never give you more than you're ready for. So that's what happens to you.
Yep.
Is that you have said, please speak to me, and they've spoke to you.
And your land is kind of a bug light, or what do you call that? The bug light, or the
bug zapper?
Bug zapper.
So
it just draws them all in. It's a beacon.
I
yes.
have learned that when you decide, excuse me,
We've been drinking and
Clinking,
clinking.
Drink and clink.
Drink and
one
clink.
of the first things that happens to you when you open up on the astral realm is you're like this little bright light on the astral realm before you learn really how to shield. And so all of the energies will come to you and talk to you.
Yeah. So I wanted to get
and eventually you'll learn to shield.
I wanted to get to questions. Do we have?
all kinds of
Dusty's
We
got.
got
we got internet questions.
We got
Dusty's
got a
Dusty
note 8
is
book of
like
questions.
internet guru, and we got questions from the internet. So let's ask some questions.
So Jennifer McKellar asks, how do you protect yourself when you're
Oh, we just. I love how he just segues into where we're
I know
at.
you're not even. You're like talking, and you're like, but you're still like hearing.
I'm on it
Okay,
now.
so I did an invocation workshop one time, and I said,
Let's repeat the question just in case they couldn't hear. How do you protect yourself? By who?
Jennifer McKellar.
Jennifer McKellen.
one of my very best friends
Oh.
in Georgia that
Hi,
I haven't
Jennifer.
seen for years. I love you, Jennifer. Mwah. Yay. Okay,
Oh wait, that was weird.
your thumbs have to go. There you go.
No more drinking and clinking
hipping out the hose.
Okay, back to Jennifer. How do you shield yourself? Protect.
So in the
Protect yourself.
workshop, I said, call to the deity 3 different times. You call to the deity in 3 different names. Persephone, queen of the underworld, goddess of spring. Okay, that's pretty clear. Hecate, queen of the crossroads, she who holds the keys.
Okay.
You wanna say it 3 times.
And why is that?
Well, because Hecate's got many faces.
But no, why do you
And
do it in
the
3 with
deities-
others?
because if you say it three's a charm. It's part of 1, 2, 3 degrees.
Yeah.
3's a charm. 3
I like that.
times. 3 is the number of truth.
Yes, it is.
1 is beginnings. 2 is balance. 3 is truth.
Yeah.
So if you say it 3 times, then you really mean it.
Yeah.
So you call in 3 different ways, and that way you know that you're getting who you actually asked for. I was doing this invocation workshop at Pantheon in San Jose, California, and we gave the participants an opportunity to come forth and do an invocation. And I knew that this was going to be a bad situation because the girl looked at me and she said, I don't know who I'm calling in. And I was like, oh, this would be a fun example for the rest of the group of what not to do.
Yeah.
And she started screaming, and I just walked forward, and I did a devoking pentagram, which I hit her hip, middle of her forehead, her other hip, I guess that would be her right shoulder, and then her left shoulder.
Yeah.
And then I pulled it out and threw it away. Right? And it snapped. She was like, I don't know, I'm bringing in. And then she started just screaming. And so I just devoked her.
Yeah.
And threw it out.
And then she started crying and went, that was real.
Yeah, she started crying.
Listen to what we told you.
Yeah. And so I used it as an example of what not to do. But yeah, that's how you do it. You protect yourself by dialing in exactly who you want, by calling them in 3 different ways.
Do we have any other questions?
Oh yeah, I got a couple really good ones. Jared McKenzie.
Jared McKenzie,
the guy who illustrated Dusty's book, My Name is Carnunos, an incredible artist.
I just
So
said
he asked it was a 2-part question. You already answered one, which who is the sexiest deity you've ever invoked?
Aphrodite.
Of course.
Joy.
The other question though was, what
Actually-
was the scariest deity?
Yeah,
If you have a different sexiest, you should tell us that one.
Pombajira is the sexiest
Okay,
deity.
who's that?
What?
Pombajira is the goddess of prostitutes.
Who is that? What pantheon? What?
She is an African diaspora, I believe. I don't know. I was introduced to Pombajira at PantheaCon. PantheaCon's a lot of fun. You should go if you've never been.
I would love
And
to go.
it's a who's who of paganism.
Yeah, that's what
all
I've
of
heard.
the big names are there. It's very political. So Pombajira they used to do Pombajira raves. They didn't do it in the last couple of years because they just get out of hand in a very good
Raves?
way. Yeah.
Did you say raves?
Pombajira raves. Oh my God. So Pombajira got into my head like her chants, and I was like, I don't understand this chant. Why won't it leave me? And then I had sex, and I was like, oh, I get this chant now.
With you?
Maybe.
So yeah, it was you.
We had to ask that in the pagan community.
Well,
It's a fair question.
I don't
We're
always.
polyamorous-ish.
Ish, yeah.
With a monogamous bent.
Yeah.
He'd have thrown a goddamn fit if I'd have had sex with anybody else. But I don't always tell him all the crazy that's
Shit
happening
she does
behind the
Oh, no, that's
scenes.
not what you were saying.
Because there's a lot of stuff going on inside Bella that not everybody knows.
Oh, baby, we'll find out tonight. Keep drinking, Bella.
Drink and drink.
See,
Drink and drink.
now we know Lola's real alternative. Okay, so
You're
scariest.
Scariest. I can tell you my scariest.
So for real,
yeah, who is yours? For real.
the scariest thing I've ever done. Never experienced anything with the deity that was scary.
Okay.
Every time I've invoked a deity,
You're okay with it.
they have been respectful and loving and kind, even if it was a dark deity.
Well,
I've never had a deity scare me. Now, they might have scared you,
Yeah.
but they didn't scare me.
You know what I'd like to say that is like? I always bring it back to acid. I have taken, and my parents will not watch this.
I've taken a bit of acid
I've
myself.
taken over 2,000 hits of acid in my life.
I've never done that much.
Yeah, not at once, but in my life.
Yeah. Not that adept.
I have had a lot of trips. I have never had a bad trip, and
I've had bad trips.
and nobody can say that. But I can honestly
I've had
truly
bad
say
trips.
because I just understand the drug and I understand what
I
I'm
guess
saying.
that's why you got to 2,000 trips. or 2,000 hits.
But the last trip I had was a few years ago, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. And that's when I knew, okay,
You're done.
I'm done because I don't want to push it. I don't want to push it.
I've not had a bad trip since I was a teenager.
No, I just never
I had
have.
bad trips when I was a teenager.
And drugs are bad, kids. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
But so yeah,
Drugs
acid.
are bad.
But on a side
But-
note, acid's awesome. Anyway,
But sometimes you can touch God.
yeah, oh yeah.
But yeah, I've never had a
So
deity.
it's the same thing. You've
I've never had
bad-
a deity do anything to me that was harmful or unkind.
So you've never had
or
a
made
bad
me-
trip when it comes to invoking.
No,
Did
I
you
never
hear that,
have.
Dusty? She's never had a quote-unquote bad trip when it comes to invoking.
No, I might have scared other people.
What was the one that might have been a little overwhelming or uncomfortable?
Did you ever have one that was like maybe you were unfamiliar with, not comfortable with,
I know one.
not?
It was when you invoked Hecate, but at Spring Mysteries Festival.
Oh, Hecate made me sick.
Which
Really?
one was this?
So the first time I invoked Hecate at Spring now, when you invoke the deities at Spring Mysteries, it is not like invoking the deities at any other time.
No, I know.
All these people are invoking deities and they're thinking it's the same as Spring Mysteries, but Spring Mysteries, these gods are waiting on their vessels and
Yeah.
they hit them like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
When I talked about Aphrodite putting me on a shelf and
Yeah.
walking around in my body, that was Spring Mysteries.
Yeah.
I invoked deity for 30 years. And before I got to Spring Mysteries, I really thought I was invoking, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
Hecate made me sick. She wanted to stay in her bed. She didn't want to be around anybody. When I was out in the sun, I had to have a veil on. When I was in the underworld, I could take my veil off. It wasn't a bad experience. It was a
Just
It
not.
was a antisocial experience.
Yeah.
Hecate does not want to hang out. She doesn't want to have small talk.
Yeah.
She doesn't give a fuck about your dog.
Yeah.
She
wants
cares
to
about
get-
her dog,
Yeah.
but she is grandmother and she is all down to business, and she was very much done with the game
Yeah.
of what was happening at Spring Mysteries with the transition and stuff. She
Yeah.
wasn't hip, and she's all business.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's not about. She's not a socialite.
No, I get it. Yeah.
So, yeah.
we have.
Are y'all listening to me? Or
No,
are you
they're
just
not.
talking
They're-
shit
they're-
over in the
they're
corner?
over there. We
Hey,
have
guys.
time for one more
I
question.
answered your
One
question.
more question.
So, let's see. Last question here.
Anyone in the studio audience with
Question.
How do you move aside and let Goddess just talk through you?
Well, that's kind of
You've
the.
already answered that one, though.
Yeah.
Really, you picked up most of this. Oh, can you accidentally invoke?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, self-invoke.
And what is
Yeah.
the best way to ground?
Okay,
Two-part
so how do you get out of the way? Is I imagine myself being a straw. I imagine myself being a straw, and I invite deity to fill that straw. What was the next
The other one
one?
was, do you ever accidentally invoke or
Accidentally
just self-invoke?
So as a third degree, we kind of have a contract that we are the incarnation of deity on the planet.
so before you got to third degree, did it happen? Where you're
I don't know. I've been a third degree since 1988.
Yeah, she's been a third degree for a long time.
I've been a third degree for a long time. I don't know.
Okay.
So back in 1988 when I first started, I guess I got my third in 1989. So, but it was all within a 12-month period. And it happened really fast. That's how we did it back then. There weren't a whole lot of books to read. I
Yeah.
read all the books. I knew how to do all the incantations. I could read tarot cards. Boom, I was a third. I thought that was kind of dubious until I found out that the same thing happened with Janet Farah, who's my spiritual grandmother.
Yeah.
So back then we just didn't have a lot of knowledge. What was the question again? You've given me a lot of wine.
I've given her a lot of wine. Accidentally invoked.
So when I talk to people on the
Just
telephone,
blame Lola.
when I'm doing my work, deity has permission to come through me anytime it needs to, and so I will know that this answers Randall's question. I'll know that I'm channeling deity because I'll start tearing.
Yes,
I get real teary. I try to hold it back because it's embarrassing.
and your nose runs too.
But
Because you
can't-
channel when you teach. And she'll be all of a sudden talking, then all of a sudden she's all...
and you'll notice it.
And I'm like, did you just all of a sudden get a cold?
I don't mean to invoke.
Yeah.
It just happens.
It just happens.
It's, Lola, I'm sorry that you have to experience that, but I guess it's a positive
I like
thing.
it, because I'm like,
Yeah.
that's their sign.
I start tearing and I get all snotty.
But then I know. I'm like, here she goes.
That's
Here she goes.
deity.
Here she goes.
So that's what I do is I channel.
Yeah.
And I do that intentionally. I give my body over to deity to
So
speak
you
to
don't
my
have a lot of
students.
accidental times where the deity comes in without...
I have a lot of accidental times.
Oh, okay. All right.
It happens all the time.
All
It
the
happens
time,
almost
okay.
in every class. And when I read cards for a living. So if I get when's my boyfriend going to call me next? It's not that big of a deal. Deity won't answer me. But sometimes I'll get really important questions like, is my sister dead? We've lost her. We can't find her. Where is she?
Yeah.
And then deity will come through and talk to those people. And I know because I'll start crying.
Yeah. So do we have room for one more question?
There was
there
another
Do you
part.
Raynor also asks, how do you prepare and how do you fast?
I don't fast,
And then
but
there's a
I
question
do
about
eat
ground.
How do you
superfoods.
ground after invoking?
I eat
Is there anything in particular that's good for you?
whatever I want to eat. I just eat.
Beer
The
does not devote
That's not
Alcohol.
not
Beer
eating.
does devote Demeter.
Oh,
Beer devokes Demeter, but she just likes you, Dusty.
Alcohol
The
doesn't...
goddess likes to fuck Dusty.
It's okay.
I said that out
You
loud.
can say fuck, fuck, fuck,
She's
fuck,
giving
fuck,
me
fuck,
a
fuck.
lot of wine.
That's fine.
The goddess likes to have sex with Dusty. I have sex and I eat. Chocolate is a really good thing. Alcohol is a really good thing.
Unless you're... Okay, I invoked the gin for the Litha ritual.
Oh, I bet you did.
But Cara D told me,
yeah, we're right.
if you're trying to devoke, you can't drink alcohol. And I was like... But, it was good.
So, Cara D's a teetotaler, and I absolutely love her. And she's very right in most everything that she says.
She knows what she's doing.
She really is a fantastic third degree
And she
priestess.
invokes.
She's
amazing.
dean of education at the school because she is
She's amazing.
really a good priestess. But Kali and Demeter, and there are some other deities where their mythologies talk about them being fed alcohol
Yeah.
to calm them down. That actually does work.
Yeah.
Sex works. Chocolate works. Meat.
Yeah, meat's good.
Meat
and
is
cheese.
really good. Meat.
I do
and
meat and cheese.
Yeah, but anything you can tell if the food tastes ashy to you.
Yeah.
If it's like nah, 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 you're not devoked. And so when you devoke, you want to grab right here and reach into your body with your energy and then pull it out of you because you're in charge of you. What you got to remember when you're working with invocation,
I like that.
is that you are the sovereign.
Yeah.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. You're the sovereign of your own being. And if you ask deity to leave, it absolutely will. Deity, now, that's not the same thing with when you're invoking fairies or lower astrals or
Or
elementals.
elementals.
You
It's
should
different.
be real careful with that. When you start working with those energies, you need to have a spotter that will devoke you should you need to be devoked. But when you're working with deity, deity is very benevolent. It's very focused on your well-being. And if you say, hey, I'm not hip with this, they'll leave.
Yeah.
Demeter is...
Especially if you have a good relationship with them.
Yeah, I've been working with Demeter for a year now. And she will talk to me real intensely. And then she'll realize that what she's saying is like having this negative emotional impact.
Yeah.
And then she'll withdraw.
And she knows when it's like, I'll wait.
She'll wait till I'm ready again, and then she'll come back and she'll tell me some more stuff. I mean, she's pretty heavy. Mother Nature, you know, lions killing gazelles.
Oh yeah.
Mother Nature is not.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
It's not friendly.
One.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's friendly when the sky's nice and warm and sunny, but then there's the storm.
Well, there's always the destructive side of everything.
Yeah, she is all of these things, and she is okay with being all of these things because she understands the balance.
Well,
but she understands also that I do not get the balance to the same degree that she does.
Well,
so she'll tell me things, and then she'll be like, I'm going to go away for an hour. And then she'll come back when she needs to. And she has permission to use my body as her tool,
but not
because I'm her priestess.
Yeah. But she knows the boundaries, because you do have to set boundaries, don't you?
Well, I don't really, you know.
Some people, I'm just saying, some people might, if they're more comfortable with that.
I don't really do. I don't
either.
So I set boundaries to
you're
the
a
point
zealot.
of, I know I don't sound like, I set boundaries to the point of I'm not willing to break the law. I'm not willing to hurt anybody.
Well, yes.
These kinds of things.
Yeah.
But other than that, she can kind of do what she wants to.
Got it.
And
it's different with everybody.
Yeah.
It's different with everybody.
Yeah.
But we do need to go. We're over an hour. Oh my
goodness.
God.
I could talk about witchcraft forever.
I know you could. And you will come back. You will come back.
Anytime you ask me.
And we will do this. I hope you've enjoyed this.
This has been fun.
It's really fun. I'm clinking.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. And
thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Bella.
Thank you, Raynor and Jennifer McKellar, for your questions.
Thank you
and
for
Cassie,
the
I love
questions.
you.
Who?
Jerry McKenzie.
Jared McKenzie, thank you for the
Jared
question.
McKenzie rocks.
I'm posting this tonight. If you're watching this tonight or early tomorrow morning, we will be having the ATC World Love Tour. And if you need to get a hold of me, look on my Facebook, Lola Star. I've got all the information. And if you want to be a guest on Witches and Wine, then please email us.
You'll at least be drunk. Dusty.
More wine. Please email us at crossroadscoven@gmail.com. That's crossroadscoven@gmail.com.
Soon to be found at atcwicca.org.
She's working on us. She's whining and dining. We're whining and dining her. Thank you so much.